Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Anisa Sanaky. Well, I will present about Customary in Maluku, a case study of Negeri Kariu. The first background, Customary are an essential part of the identity and cultural continuity of local communities. In Indonesia, indigenous communities often face challenges in preserving their land, forests, and seas as part of their traditional territories. Maluku is an archipelagic region with rich cultural diversity and strong indigenous tradition also encounters similar dynamic. One notable case is the conflict affecting the indigenous community of Negeri Kariu, located in Haruku Island District, central Maluku regions. This conflict illustrates violation of customary rights within social, economic, and political contexts. The second, problem formulation. What are the underlying causes of the violation of customary rights in Negeri Kariu? Who are the parties involved in the conflict? What are the impacts of the conflict on the Kariu indigenous community? What efforts have been made and can be taken to resolve the conflict and restore indigenous rights? The third purpose of writing. This paper aims to identify the root causes of the conflict over customary rights in Negeri Kariu, present a chronology and the parties involved using the 5 ways 1H approach, provide an analysis of the impact and propose relevant solution in the context of respecting indigenous rights. Okay, next, the first, what happened? The case of customary right violation in Negeri Kariu began with inter-village conflict involving Negeri Kariu and the communities of Negeri Pelau and Ori. The conflict escalated on January 26, January 26, 2022, when Negeri Kariu was attacked, resulting in homes being burned and residents being forced to flee. This event represents a blatant act of land grabbing and forced displacement based on territorial and sectarian conflict. Who was involved? The parties involved in the conflict include the people of Negeri Kariu as the victims, communities from Negeri Pelau and Ori, alleged perpetrators of the attack, the Central Maluku regions and Maluku provincial governments, along with security forces, police, and TANI, responsible for mediation and law enforcement, NGOs, and the National Human Rights Commission as institutions advocating for the restoration of the Kariu people's right. When did the event occur? The conflict peaked on January 26, 2022, and as of 2024, the people of Kariu remain displaced. Concrete efforts for reparation and reconciliation are yet to be complete. The conflict has roots in a long-standing intervillage tension that has never been resolved fairly and with an indigenous right perspective. Where did the event take place? The conflict occurred on Haruku Island, particularly in the traditional territory of Negeri Kariu, which is part of the Haruku Island District, Central Maluku Regency, Maluku Province. Currently, many Kariu residents are displaced to Aboro and other areas on Haruku Island or beyond. Why did this conflict happen? The conflict was triggered by disputes over customary territorial boundaries that have not been formally recognized by state or customary law. Long-standing tension mixed with sectarian issue, with Kariu being predominantly Christian and neighboring communities being predominantly Muslim. The state's weak role in ensuring justice and protecting indigenous rights, including access to land and shelter. How did it happen and what are the impacts? The conflict escalated from verbal tension to physical violence, destroying dozens of homes and public facilities. The people of Negeri Kariu were forced to flee, losing access to their ancestral land, homes, and social cultural life. Children lost access to education and the local economy collapsed. To date, recovery and reconciliation efforts are ongoing but have not yielded satisfactory result. Okay, conclusion. The case involving the indigenous people of Negeri Kariu reflect the weak protection of indigenous rights in Indonesia. Ancestral land and territory are not merely placed to life, they are part of identity and cultural continuity. The state has an obligation to grant this right through legal mechanism, mediation, and recovery based on restorative justice and local wisdom. Conflict like this cannot be resolved without genuine recognition and protection of customary territories and serious, fair involvement of all parties. Recommendation: the government must accelerate reconciliation process using participatory approach that involve all parties, including traditional and religious leaders. There must be official and legal mapping of customary territories to prevent future conflict. Okay, that's all from me about my material. Thank you so much.